Understanding how to win friends and influence people is like embarking on a journey through the rich landscape of human interaction. Dale Carnegie, through his book, provides a roadmap for navigating the complexities of relationships, communication, and personal growth. Let's delve into the essence of this book, unraveling its stories and principles in a way that resonates even with those unfamiliar with the original text. In the opening narrative, we meet Two Gun Crowley, a notorious criminal who, during a standoff with the police, wrote a letter claiming he had never hurt anyone. This intriguing story serves as an introduction to a recurring theme: people seldom view themselves as the wrongdoers in their stories. It's a trait shared not only by criminals but also by figures like Al Capone, who saw himself as a public benefactor, and President Taft, who justified his decisions regardless of public criticism. This book's central idea revolves around the concept of avoiding criticism. Criticism, Carnegie explains, often leads to resentment rather than improvement. Take George B. Johnston, a safety coordinator who learned that gentle reminders were more effective than stern orders in making workers wear hard hats. This insight is further exemplified in the strained relationship between Theodore Roosevelt and President Taft. Roosevelt's harsh criticisms did little to sway Taft, who remained convinced of his own righteousness. The Teapot Dome scandal, another historical event, reinforces this idea. Those involved remained unapologetic, suggesting that criticism often falls on deaf ears. Carnegie brings forth Abraham Lincoln as an exemplary figure in the realm of empathy and understanding. Lincoln, known for his sharp wit, learned through personal trials to practice restraint. His decision not to send a scathing letter to General Meade, whom he believed had missed a chance to end the Civil War, illustrates his growth in understanding the counterproductive nature of harsh criticism. The narrative also highlights Mark Twain, renowned for his acerbic wit, who learned the value of holding back criticism, often with the help of his wife who prevented him from sending inflammatory letters. This story emphasizes the importance of restraint in our interactions. Moving on, Carnegie explores the human desire for appreciation. He cites Charles Schwab, the famed industrialist, who attributed his success to his ability to arouse enthusiasm among people and to give honest appreciation. Schwab's approach to leadership, emphasizing praise over criticism, had a transformative effect on those around him. Another striking example is that of a teacher in Detroit who recognized and nurtured the extraordinary musical talent of Stevie Wonder, despite his blindness. This account beautifully illustrates the transformative power of appreciating and fostering individual talents. Carnegie also recounts a tale of a sales manager who retained an important account not through hard selling, but by showing genuine interest in his clients, illustrating the power of authentic appreciation and interest in building lasting relationships. The narrative then weaves into the story of Charles R. Walters, a New York banker who needed crucial information from a reticent company president. Walters knew of the president's interest in stamp collecting and used this knowledge to build rapport, ultimately gaining the needed information. This example beautifully illustrates how understanding and aligning with others' interests can be a powerful tool in building connections. Another example is C. M. Naffel, Jr., who, after years of unsuccessful attempts to sell fuel to a large chain store, changed his approach by asking the chain store executive for help in a debate. This strategy not only gained him a business ally but also a significant order, showcasing the effectiveness of engaging others based on their interests and perspectives. Carnegie underscores the importance of a smile and remembering names in building relationships. He explains how a smile, akin to that of a baby or a friendly dog, can disarm tensions and create a sense of goodwill. Jim Farley, who rose to become the Postmaster General of the United States, was known for his remarkable ability to remember names, illustrating the personal touch and goodwill it can generate. Continuing with Carnegie's insights, the book emphasizes the art of conversation and the value of humility. Drawing inspiration from Socrates, it suggests that acknowledging our own fallibility leads to more productive and respectful dialogues. An example of this is Harold Reinke's transformation in handling customer complaints. By adopting a humble and understanding approach, Reinke was able to turn potentially negative interactions into opportunities for building loyalty and trust. Carnegie warns against the pitfalls of bluntly correcting others. This is illustrated through the story of a young New York attorney who, by contradicting a Supreme Court justice, damaged his own credibility. The incident highlights how direct contradiction can lead to defensiveness and stubborn adherence to one's beliefs. The book then introduces the teachings of psychologist Carl Rogers, emphasizing the importance of understanding others' viewpoints before evaluating or critiquing them. Carnegie himself shares an experience with an interior decorator to illustrate how adverse people are to having their judgments questioned. It's a reminder that empathy and understanding are key in effective communication. Benjamin Franklin's autobiography serves as another source of wisdom. Franklin narrates his transformation from an argumentative youth to a diplomat renowned for his tact and respectfulness. This shift in communication style, from confrontational to diplomatic, had a significant impact on his success and reputation. In the business world, Carnegie provides examples of how these principles of communication and understanding can be effectively applied. Catherine A. Allred, an industrial engineering supervisor, recounts how altering her approach led to the acceptance of a new incentive system. Similarly, R.V. Crowley, a lumber salesman, describes how avoiding arguments and taking a cooperative stance transformed his business dealings, particularly with difficult inspectors. The book also discusses the importance of admitting mistakes promptly. A story about Bruce Harvey dealing with an overpaid employee showcases how acknowledging a mistake and seeking a fair solution can not only resolve the issue but also enhance respect and trust. The narrative then explores the effectiveness of a friendly, respectful approach in negotiations and conflict resolution. John D. Rockefeller Jr.'s handling of a miners' strike and O.L. Straub's rent negotiation are presented as examples where respect, empathy, and praise were used successfully to achieve desired outcomes. A particularly enlightening story is that of a sales representative who, due to laryngitis, was forced to listen rather than speak during a sales pitch. This unintentional shift in approach led to a significant contract win, highlighting the power of listening and understanding the client's perspective. As the book progresses, Carnegie delves into the psychology of sympathy and the importance of being in tune with others' ideas and desires. He recounts the story of the famous opera singer Chelyabin, whose manager, Mr. Hurock, understood his need for sympathy and used it to motivate him to perform. This anecdote demonstrates the power of empathy and understanding in influencing others' actions. Carnegie emphasizes the effectiveness of appealing to nobler motives. He narrates stories of historical figures who viewed themselves as idealists, like Jesse James, and shows how understanding and appealing to a person's self-perception can be a powerful motivator. This is further exemplified by the story of Hamilton J. Farrell, who managed to retain a disgruntled tenant by appealing to his sense of honor and fairness. The book also discusses the power of dramatization in getting your message across. Whether it's the Philadelphia Evening Bulletin's response to a smear campaign or the impact of well-crafted television commercials, Carnegie illustrates that presenting information in a vivid and engaging manner can be highly persuasive. Throwing down a challenge is presented as an effective way to motivate people. Stories like Charles Schwab's mill manager challenging workers to surpass each other's production, and Theodore Roosevelt's enthusiastic response to challenges, demonstrate the innate human desire to excel and prove oneself. Carnegie lists principles for persuading others to your way of thinking, such as avoiding arguments, showing respect for others' opinions, admitting mistakes quickly, and being sympathetic to their ideas. These principles, supported by historical anecdotes and practical examples, demonstrate their effectiveness in various contexts. The discussion then shifts to effective leadership, focusing on how to handle criticism constructively. Carnegie uses examples of notable figures like Presidents Calvin Coolidge, McKinley, and Abraham Lincoln to illustrate the power of using praise to motivate change and soften criticism. These stories underline the idea that criticism, when paired with praise and presented in a constructive manner, can lead to positive outcomes and growth. Carnegie also emphasizes the importance of making people feel involved and valued in their tasks. He shares the story of Colonel House and William Jennings Bryan, where House had to inform Bryan that he wouldn't be the peace emissary to Europe. House accomplished this by suggesting Bryan